Hello and welcome to the 86th edition of the Fallout Feed. I am Andrew, and with me this evening are Pat and Ray. Hello, fellas.
Hey.
Evening.
How are we doing, everybody?
Ready to rock.
Tonight we have some beefy feedback for the Great Khans, the Brotherhood of Steel, and the Omertas from three of our play-along feedback people. We've got Craig, Leon, and Steve we're going to hear from. I put in a special request that these guys really dig in and give us some good details and everything, and boy, did they ever answer in full. So we've got a good solid 40-50 minutes of their feedback to get to. So
nice.
We're not going to beat around the bush too much. We're going to get right to the feedback because we know we'll want to make comments here and there about the feedback as well. So guys, do you have any beginning thoughts that you'd like to talk about before we hop into the feedback, or should we just go ahead and get into it?
Let's jump in. Appreciate these guys doing good stuff.
All right. Okay. Let's pull up. Let's go ahead and listen to Craig first. Thanks, Craig, for writing in. Craig's pretty much held up with us the whole season long. I've been enjoying listening to your adventures as the those evil, yucky people, the Legion. Yeah. All right. So, Craig, here we go. Thanks for sending in your feedback, buddy.
Hello, Fallout Feed. This is Craig with another update on Trash Cantina. A little quick recap. Her faction is Caesar's Legion. Her traits are heavy-handed and built to destroy. Her tag skills are survival, sneak, and explosives. And her companion is Rose of Sharon Cassidy. So the first quest that I did with her in this little recap is still in the dark. Caesar wanted me to destroy the Brotherhood of Steel, so I headed to the Hidden Valley and head into their bunker. I believe I either had a really high lockpick or I had one of the holotapes. I don't remember exactly how I was able to get into it, but I ended up opening the door and was greeted by some paladins in armor. I backed away quickly, loaded a pulse grenade into my grenade rifle and let it fly, and I think it killed them instantly. Then some more paladins started pouring out. I eventually took care of them, having to hide and stem as needed. And then I moved into the bunker and continued to slaughter everyone for the glory of the Kaisar. This is the first playthrough that I ever actually found the way into the little shop. Usually I would just be able to steal what I could reach, but this time I was able to steal everything. It took multiple trips to get everything out of the bunker, but I was able to make quite a bit of caps this time. Now the next quest that I did was the Finger of Suspicion. Vulpes and Culta tasked me with finding out the situation with an informant that the Legion had on the strip. She was being harassed by a group of Omerta thugs. And I ended up heading to Vault 21 to check in on her and was pleasantly surprised to find the three three Omerta thugs were already there and about to kill her. I ended up talking them out of it by scaring them a little bit, telling them that the Legion was watching her and that it would be in their best interest to not do anything to her. Vulpes and Culta seemed pleased with this because it was allowing them to spread the fear of the Legion. Another quest I tried to accomplish was I put a spell on you. which I believe that opened up when I looted all of the stuff at the Hidden Valley bunker. I don't know exactly what opened it, but basically I was supposed to go to Camp McCarran and talk to an undercover Legion agent that was there. But my reputation with the NCR was too bad for him to even talk to me. And when I went into the room he was in, he tried to kill me. So I ended up reloading my save multiple times and just could never get him to talk to me, so I just gave up. My last quest that I'm going to be discussing is A Tumor Bruta. I headed back to Caesar, and he took me into the back room and explained that he had a brain tumor that needed to be operated on. He had a non-working autodoc that I could scavenge the parts for, but I instead offered him Arcade Gannon services as his personal doctor. This kind of caused a little issue because apparently many months of killing people, killing NCR, eating their bodies, Cass was not very happy. So I headed back to the strip, and when I actually talked to her to dismiss her back to the Lucky 38, apparently she'd been sitting on a bunch of stuff, and she basically told me off multiple times, and I told her that if she didn't like it, she'd go back to her family. And I said, oh wait, your family's fucking dead. This really pissed her off, and she started attacking Eddie and I. So we ended up having to kill her. So that ends Cass as my companion. So that was the first thing that kind of made me really mad. Not mad, but kind of grossed out about the playthrough that I've done so far. But anyway, so I headed to Freeside to pick up Arcade. Went to the old Mormon fort to get him. And Eddie and I took him to the Caesar's camp and sold him into slavery. The other thing that kind of grossed me out about my playthrough is that once I actually finished, it says that Arcade commits suicide because of that. So I wasn't terribly happy with that. But I guess life goes on. Well, not for Arcade, obviously. So anyway, Arcade was his personal doctor, and after hours of surgery, Caesar was finally better and ready to wreak havoc upon the Mojave Wasteland. So far, this recording is not nearly as long as I would have liked it to have been, but it is 7 minutes, and I think I've been rambling and babbling a little bit too much, so I think I'm going to wrap it up here. So I will see you again on the conclusion of Trash Cantina's feedback. All right.
I don't think your rambling could be any, less directional than mine, Craig. You're right on point, man.
That was some good stuff. He's twigged on a couple of things I don't think I ever knew could happen. That I mean, I know that like the companions have preferences about stuff, but I didn't know that Cass would get so would go so far as to actually go hostile on you if you mouth off to her enough. That's wild.
I've never seen that.
And then he killed her.
Well, he had no choice.
Well, a companion gets mouthy. What are you going to do?
What was Eddie's reaction?
He didn't give a shit.
Yeah, he just
loyal. Eddie's the most loyal companion there is. Don't you fuck with Eddie, man.
Eddie's like, I bet you Eddie's sleeping with one eye open now, though.
Eddie has eyes. He's one big eye. That's all Eddie is, man.
He's light sensor open.
Yeah. He's like R2D2. You know, he's more alert than you give him credit for. But yeah, that's I that's like the worst thing in the world, giving arcade to Caesar. And I didn't know he would commit suicide in that circumstance too. That's pretty wild.
Yeah, I mean, we really got to, thank Craig for, taking one for the team and really doing a dark playthrough.
Yeah, you can tell he's really into it. He's like, ugh.
That was some commitment there.
Yeah.
This makes me feel bad inside.
Hey, somebody's got to do the darkest timeline for us, man. It's a dirty job, but Craig has been elected to do it. Yeah.
And a good job he has done with it.
Yeah. And I forgot he named his character Trash Cantina too. That's a nice tribute. I like that.
Ding.
That was my wine glass. Sorry.
Nice. Sounds good. The one thing that hopped out at me too is he mentioned the shop inside the BOS bunker that he got into it. That reminded me that, oh yeah, I tried to get into that thing for a good long while, but I never could do it. Is it just a locked door?
The shop or the bunker?
No, inside the bunker, he said there was a shop or something.
Yeah, it's not. You have to. It's near the firing range. It's like.
Is it just a locked door that you have to have high enough lock pick to get in?
No, there's a shopkeeper. It's kind of like the one on the Pridwin in 4, where there's a sort of like a graded window, like a teller window or whatever, and you go just talk to the quartermaster or whatever the hell, I think it's a woman, whatever the title is, and you can buy shit. It's just like in the Pridwin on 4.
Yeah, but everyone was dead in my playthrough, so how? Like,
then you screwed up. I don't know that you can get in there. It's because you can't get into Vendertron's area either.
Yeah, I still never got into that gate behind his area either. That I never got my pickup. I need to go get my lock pickup.
Oh yeah, okay. You must have shitty lock pick. That's not. Isn't that only like average or something?
I haven't improved it at all.
Oh,
does New Vegas have the same function as in Fallout 4, where one of your followers will have a lockpick function that you can go get that follower and have them unlock stuff for you?
No, you can force the lock, but if you don't have good lockpick, your forcing percentage is pretty small.
I need to go get some magazines, I think.
Yeah, they'll boost you up.
Is there like an implant or something for that?
If you do the perception implant, I think it'll give you like 2 percentage points or something, but that's not much.
Yeah, that's
3 or 2 or something. You remember the implants are in lieu of the special bobbleheads. So.
Yes, and special bobbleheads we will get into a little bit later.
Teaser.
Big teaser.
Yeah, and I think Craig actually got into the, into the backside of the of that quartermaster shop because he was able to clean it out.
Oh, nice.
There must be a locked door or something there. I've never gotten into it.
I'm gonna have to look for that. That's wild.
Yeah. So, and he also killed everyone. So, it was either.
Well, it's easier to get in when somebody's not shooting at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like Craig discovered the wonder of pulse weapons against the BOS and power armor too. That is super handy.
I'm never smart enough to prepare and bring that stuff with me. Do you guys have homestead set up somewhere where you dump all your crap?
Yeah, I've done another playthrough since the round table, but where did I put? I want to say I used just Lucky 38.
Oh yeah,
because I was a Mr. House guy. I just used Lucky 38 for this one.
That's where I am. Been.
And then the best player home by far is the one you get in Old World Blues in the DLC.
Oh, great!
Because it's got an auto dock. It's got an auto dock and a vendor built in.
Sweet.
But you have to unlock it. You basically have to finish Old World Blues for it to be really tricked out. But once you get it tricked out, it's really nice.
Yeah, all my junk is in Novak.
Yeah, I use Novak a lot too. Yeah, because Novak's easy. You can get there early, and you can fast travel there quickly. Whereas Lucky 38, unless you have the mods loaded, it takes a lot of walking to get to Lucky 38. So yeah, that's a good call, Ray. I use Novak too, just because you come out, you pop out. Your fast travel point at Novak is pretty close to your room. Yeah, so that's a good choice.
Did you take over someone else's room, or did they actually reward you a room after you do the RepCon stuff?
You can rent it, or they will give it to you once they like you enough.
Oh, nice.
But you can rent it for like 10 caps or something, or 100 caps, and it's yours. Yeah, but it's 100 caps, and it's yours for the rest of the game. And it's got a lot of storage. So like it's a good one because it's got water, and it's got a lot of different, like I like to put my in New Vegas. I like to put my different categories in a set distinct. So I like put the guns here and the ammo here and the junk here, and it's got a number of different. Like it's got a fridge if you want to put your food in there. And a wardrobe if you want to put your clothes in there. So it's got kind of good RP and plus it's got water, which is nice.
Now in Fallout 4, I consider my settlements or my homestead based on what amenities are there. Like in Fallout New Vegas, I mean, I don't use the workbenches and stuff a ton. Do you base your judgment about where you stay based on what sort of, like what are they, reloading benches? And
there's a reloading bench and what is it, workbench? Is that what the other one's called, Ray?
Yeah.
That's why the one in Old World Blues is so good, because it's got both benches in addition to a vendor and an auto dock.
Cool.
So you can go, you can make stuff. That's actually where in not my roundtable playthrough, but the one I did subsequent, because I wanted to go through Caesar. I actually ran to Old World Blues really early, and got that got that player base. And I went back there because I would use it. I stored all my crafting stuff there. So when I was making doctor bags or making my chems, that kind of stuff.
And do you use chems or do you make them to sell them?
Both.
Yeah.
If I'm doing a craft, so for New Vegas, like I'll kind of decide up front if I'm going to do a crafting playthrough or not.
Yeah.
And I kind of either go all in on crafting or I just ignore it completely.
Mm-hmm.
And if I ignore it completely, I just use I just use caps to get the shit I need. Yeah. Whereas 4, I always do some crafting in 4 because it's a lot more integral to the game.
Oh yeah, it seems much more so, at least to me.
Yeah. They made it more so in New Vegas than 3, and then they really amped up the ante in 4.
So in 5, how much more in depth can they go? Am I gonna have to machine the screws?
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if they. I feel like they probably will, just because they seem to like it. And every kind of major game release, they kind of up to, Skyrim does more than the New Vegas. So, again, New Vegas is Obsidian, so maybe ignore that. But it's just, I mean, I think the biggest innovation for 4 is, there's a number, but I think it was just the interlinked workbenches.
Yeah.
Because that way, because even in Skyrim, even like in the really good player home, storage is still a pain in the ass. Because your storage doesn't sort well. But the fact that you can store everything in the workbench is to me is like a really nice innovation in Fallout 4, because that way you don't have to worry about containers.
I enjoy it thoroughly. Hey, Craig, thanks again for your feedback tonight, man. And please, we would love to hear the conclusion of Trash Can. What did you say, Tina? Right?
Tina. Yeah, bring it on. See what the Legion can do with those shitty NCR guys at Hoover Dam. I want to hear about that.
What's your tongue? So coming up, we will go ahead and check in with Steve. Steve, thanks again for sending in your great feedback all season long too, man. Been enjoying it a lot, hearing about your characters all season long.
Is this a remix?
It's really fast.
Dubstep.
Wow.
Hey, everybody. Steve here from New Zealand.
Love that remix.
Shout out. It's been a busy summer here. I took some time off over the holidays and got heaps of things done around the house. Cut down a tree and dug out some bushes, cleaned out the garage. That gave me time to listen to some old episodes of the Roundtable. I listened to all of season 2. Big shout out to Juan, who's from my old hometown of Escondido. Hey, Juan, if you're still listening, go to Peterson's Donut Corner and have one for me. Best donuts ever. It was fun to hear the first interactions with Pat and Lee. I played a few other games. I finally finished Wolfenstein: The New Order. I leveled up a seasonal necromancer in Diablo 3, and I remodded up and started another character in Fallout 4. But why don't you focus on one thing at a time? I'll be fine. The robbery is what's important now. So, how is my new Vegas playthrough going, and where is Splendid Encarade at? To recap, her key specials were Charisma at level 9 and Luck at level 7. Traits were Good-Natured and Small Frame. Tag skills, Medicine, Sneak, and Lockpick, which I've maxed out. Companion is Rose of Sharon Cassidy. The faction was Yes Man. I also decided before starting that I would use the companion mod Willow. I focused on the Charisma and Luck perks, so Ferocious Loyalty and Animal Friend, 2 levels. Scrounger, Misfortune, Mysterious Stranger, and better criticals after Perception Implant. I also took Bloody Mess, which is +5 overall damage and more violent death animations, and Fight the Power, which gives you +2 damage threshold and +5% critical chance against anyone wearing NCR, Legion, or Brotherhood of Steel armor. She likes the cons, so I feel free to use chems, and I took the perks Chem Resistant and Chemist to help with that. She's currently at level 30. This feedback is supposed to be about the cons, the Omertas, and the Brotherhood of Steel. Well, I kind of skipped ahead and already covered the cons in a previous feedback. I'm idolized by them at this point, and I convinced them to claim their own legacy and to head to the northwest to carve out a mighty empire. I like that ending for these guys. Yeah, they do some sketchy shit, but they can be convinced to head down a better path. The Emeritas, though, these guys had to go down. They're bad guys. You look into it, and they're getting their employees hooked on chems and then using that to keep them in a form of indentured servitude, if not slavery. They're more than willing to kill innocents to get what they want. They're dealing with the Legion. I don't have any issues with taking them out. First thing, though, I took the tables to the bank. So I ran with blackjack until the floor manager told me I had to take a hike. Racking up those caps. Then I met up with one of the prostitutes, Jonah, and helped her get away to her boyfriend that I had met in Vault 21. I feel pretty good about that. I got the receptionist at Gamora to give me some info. I talked with Kachino, and I got some guy named Troika to blow up their weapons cache to keep them from selling to the Legion. They figured out who it was, though, and Troika sold me out, so the head honchos wanted to talk to me. I went up, and they made me sit down, but I had, with a speech check, convinced Kachino to shoot them for me. So it actually turned into a 3-way bloodbath, and I don't actually know who's in charge there now. I don't know if I care. I just considered slaughtering all of the Emeritas. I may go back and just do that just for fun because I don't like any of them. And I just want to see that casino go down. This brings us to the Brotherhood of Steel. I like them in general. I think most of the feedback that I heard from earlier on the other episode was that you guys both ended up taking out the Brotherhood of Steel, but I think they can help me out in the big battle coming. So I found them located their bunker through Eddie. He had, in a previous feedback, I mentioned that Eddie was beeping at me. Well, I followed up on his communication, and I located their bunker. I have just as much trouble finding it as everybody else in that dust storm. I suppose that's the purpose behind the dust storm, isn't it? To make them more harder to locate. So it works. I finally got them to let me in. Ended up using a speech check to get that ranger to leave. So I was able to avoid violence there at that point. I went ahead and I completed all the quests that they threw at me. I cleaned out the virus from the scribe terminals. That took me a few goes. I found it was quicker just to reload from a save rather than wait. If I got down to the 15-second warning and I knew I wasn't going to make it, I would just reload the game at that point and try again. I don't remember how many times it took me, maybe 5 to 10 times, something like that. I brought them Eddie and got the upgrades for Eddie from them, even though I'm not traveling around with him at this point. I found their patrols for them. I went out and ran around the Mojave finding their different patrols. I fixed their filtration units. I also ultimately helped Paladin Hardin find a way to oust Elder McNamara from his position by locating an old loophole in their tombs to get him out. I don't know why I chose that. I think maybe I chose that because the last time I had played around in New Vegas, I helped Elder McNamara. So this time I wanted to do something different. I then told Paladin Hardin, or I should say Elder Hardin now, I suppose, that I wanted to join the Brotherhood, and he sent me to kill the Van Graffs. Well, I already had killed the Van Graffs earlier, so he went ahead and he swore me in and taught me how to use power armor, which is pretty great, right? Yeah, it's great. But turns out I ran into an issue with that because I put on some of the Brotherhood of Steel faction armor, and then I took it off, but the NCR still act like I'm wearing it, so they mostly attack me on sight. Not everywhere. If I run across any stations out in the Mojave, they attack me. If I go to their base in New Vegas, they attack me. But the drunk guys, for instance, hanging out, don't attack me. It's not that big a deal. I was mostly avoiding interacting with any of the NCR anyway, but still, just if I'm out there, they end up attacking me, and I wasn't looking to be vilified with them yet. I'm still somehow able to stay neutral at this point, but I think they're warning me. So I can't seem to get that flag of wearing the Brotherhood of Steel armor off, because I ended up before I realized that I had this glitch, I used that armor to repair another set of armor that was not a Brotherhood of Steel armor. So I don't have that old Brotherhood of Steel armor to put on and take off again. Apparently you can do that to fix this. And I could probably buy some more from the Brotherhood, but I don't really want to spend the extra money just to keep the NCR from attacking me when I'm going to end up attacking them and getting vilified real soon with them anyway. So this is one of the reasons why I grabbed the Fight the Power perk, which I'd been planning on getting anyway. So that's cool. I just went ahead and got that. So every time they attack me now, I can take them out. I went to Vault 34 to get the All-American Unique Rifle. I heard.
All right. That sounds like a good spot to chime in here a little bit about the Brotherhood of Steel and the cons and stuff. He played, I think, both of those exactly opposite of me. I think he enjoyed the cons. and the Brotherhood. Is there a way? I didn't feel like my playthrough allowed me as the NCR to recruit the Brotherhood effectively. I don't know if that's choices that I made in the past or something that I had done, or if I just said something wrong to the wrong person on my way in. I assume there is a way to recruit the Brotherhood to help the NCR as well, correct?
I think that's right. I think we I think I've never done this, but I think I've read that you can basically negotiate like a diplomatic truce with them. Like
Right.
it's not necessarily speech checks per se, but I think you can do that, but it's I think that's right, that there's a way to basically negotiate them into a peace with the NCR.
And I should have tried to do that.
Which I usually just kill them because I find them insufferable. And I thought it was funny that Steve did their little political intrigue where you're helping the one guy overthrow the other guy. It's like I just can't be bothered to care about Brotherhood of Steel politics. So
I'm not a huge fan either, but it's fun to dig in and hear about it, though.
Yeah, no, it's not. And look, I think we've all done, especially with round tables, like you do things a different way just because you never have or whatever. But by the way, I was really impressed that he picked up the Fight the Power perk. I've never used that one because I usually kind of wind up being friendly to the NCR just because so many of the side quests are NCR, and that that's an easy way to level up to get it to schmooze them. But that fight for a yes man character who's going to be neutral, that Fight the Power perk is a really, really good one. That was a good call.
Which
very good. It basically you get pluses when you're fighting either NCR or Legion. So like it's good for the neutral like a house or a yes man playthrough.
And Brotherhood too, he said, right?
Maybe. I don't remember. Ray, I don't know if you remember.
It does. Yeah.
So like
because I was trying to get it before I went into the Brotherhood bunker, but I wasn't able to kick over the and get the perk. But I figured I'll just use it when I'm fighting the NCR.
Speaking of leveling up, he said he's level 30. That is in game unless he has DLCs loaded, correct?
Correct.
Level cap at 30, right?
Wait, is that because it's 30 and then you add 5 for each of the 4 DLCs up to 50.
For a total of 50, right?
Yeah.
So I'm curious if he has the DLCs loaded. Do you guys, can you tell from any of the stories he's told? Has he gone into DLC stuff ever? I
don't remember. I mean, they're so self-contained. The stuff doesn't bleed into like in Fallout 4, you load the robot DLC and you start seeing crazy robots all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas in New Vegas, the DLC, I mean, it'll add the perks, but like in terms of the things you see in the Wasteland, you will only see those in the DLC area. So it's not quite the same.
Sweet. I liked hearing all the like you said, I liked hearing all the stories that he was doing in the Brotherhood of Steel. The virus scribe, the terminals. That sounded really interesting. Have you guys ever done that?
Yeah, and the way Steve does it is the correct way. Save scum.
I didn't understand what he was talking about.
So there's this room where there's these scribes, and it's a room that's divided up into like these little alcoves, and there's like 14 alcoves or 16 alcoves or something, and every alcove has a computer terminal, and you basically have to scramble from computer terminal to computer terminal, and in 30 seconds find the 3 terminals out of however many there are, 12, 14, 16, whatever, that have this virus running on them, and you isolate the virus. You have to do it 3 times in 30 seconds. So if you don't save scum, it's really hard because it could be anywhere in there. And it's like literally hard to like run across the room fast enough to be able to do it. So the way to do it is to find the first one, save, load that save, find the second one, save, and then do the third one. And I've never done it without save scumming because it's a real pain in the ass.
God, that's I don't know if that's Far Harbor Blue Room terrible, but
No, it's not. No, it's not. Because it's pretty easy if you save scum.
wow, that sounds.
Yeah, so he does have the DLC. So he's in the chat. But also, I was thinking about it. So the Fight the Power is an Honest Hearts perk.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, because you get the DLC perks show up immediately, so you can get those early. The DLC perks are not necessarily late game perks.
He just happened to be level 30. I thought that he had capped himself. Yeah, I had avoided putting in. Excuse me. I'd avoided putting in disc 2 that came with it because I saw that it was all the DLC stuff, and I know that I've been warned that if you load the DLC, you get like all this crazy equipment right off the bat, and I wanted to start, with my low level, just vanilla style. You know what I mean? Okay, let's hop back into some Steve here. Let's get knee deep in some Steve.
By the way, nice NZ references there. I have been behind on. I missed so many shows early on. I'm sure he's talked about it before. Nice down under reference and Escondido to NZ. That's pretty cool.
You're talking a couple episodes ago about the rebreather that you get from the boomers. Well, and you didn't know what use it had anywhere else. Well, it comes in handy to use in this vault because there's a couple of areas that have some underwater items that you have to grab to unlock some doors. So I brought that with me, and it made that part really easy to just dive down using the rebreather, and I could take my time and look around and find I think it was a key or passcode in one of the desks there. So I like this vault. This vault's fun. I always enjoy shooting ghouls, and so this had lots of ghouls to shoot. I went ahead and ended up saving the sharecroppers, even though I didn't have a quest for it. I figured they're just trying to survive in this wasteland. I've never even talked to those guys. I know where the sharecropper area is, but I've just been skipping around it. I think probably because I figure it's an NCR area. I went to the sarsaparilla bottle plant, and I learned the legend of the star. I suggest everyone do this. It was as fulfilling as the Red Death quest.
Troll.
At least 50 Sunset Sarsaparilla Star bottle caps, though. I won't give too much away, but one nice additional thing I was able to do with the companion mod Willow was that she made me a little sheriff badge I can wear with the stuff we found there. Pretty cool. It's just a visual aesthetic thing. I get to put a little sheriff badge on my character. I also found the laser handgun Pew Pew there, which is a great gun, except the reload. There's a reason it's called Pew Pew, because it goes pew pew, and then you have to spend a second reloading. So it's kind of a 2-shot gun and then reload. So it's a powerful weapon, but yeah, that reload is a killer. We went back to Vault 3 and wiped out the jackals there and freed the prisoners. I'm just going around and racking up some XP at this point. Spoke to Rotface in Freeside. He's a ghoul that's down there by that repair shop, and he has a gazillion things to say to you. And well, this time his hat looks a little nicer than the last time I saw him. So I ran out all of his speech options, and if he's better dressed the next time I see him, I might need to find an excuse to relieve him of his clothes. So that's a hint there for a little hidden quest that's in the game. I headed out and I went up and I got the Gauss rifle from the Merc camp. That's the one where if you have Wild West land, apparently you can get an alien blaster, but I don't have Wild West land, so I got the Gauss rifle. Those guys are pretty tough, actually. Took them all out, but yeah, the Gauss rifle, it's okay. It's all right. Reload speed is slow. I guess that's the thing with me. We all went up towards Jacobstown, and I was shooting all the bighorns and the cazadors on the way. Again, racking up XP. I found a couple of interesting mines, little dungeon mines to explore along the way. In one of the mines, I found an underwater area that had 4 skeletons playing poker, and that was pretty funny. But why can't you pick up the cards that you see on the table so that you could like beef up your caravan deck? I've had that experience in other areas of the Mojave too. I see the cards on the table, but I can't pick them up. I can pick up random tin cans. Why not make the cards items? Somebody needs to get working on a mod for that. Chop, chop. So I helped out the super mutants with their quests. They're all right. I like them. Mostly what they said. Took care of the issues of those mercs in the area. They were really easy, just to speech check them to wander away. Neat little tie in there. I haven't played Fallout 1 or 2, but I guess one of the super mutants is a companion from one of those earlier games. I'm getting the idea, and he referenced the Vault Dweller from the earlier game, so that's a neat little tie-in. I like it when characters have some persistency between games. So the super mutants, yeah, they're just living their lives up there, not hurting anybody. Although poor Lily, I don't think she's going to have the greatest of endings with my playthrough. So this brings me to where I am, and I'm finally able to delete the 30 gigabytes of screenshots that I've accumulated by letting Fraps take a screenshot every 15 seconds. But at least it helps me go back and remember what I did, as I just can kind of scroll through all my screenshots and jot down what I've been doing here. And so yeah, I cleared up all that space on my main hard drive, which is nice. My recommended mod, this feedback is Willow. The mod author is Llama RCA. It's a very well thought out and voice acted companion with quite a bit of depth to it. You can have her and other companions at the same time, so she doesn't interfere with them. She contextually comments about almost everywhere you take her, and lots of scripted interactions with the environments and NPCs. For instance, if you take her to the general store, she'll talk to Chet and actually purchase items from him if she has caps on her. I endorse this mod. I am also using the Overlook by the same author, Llama RCA. It's an interactive player home. It's about shooting distance from Novak. You can see the dinosaur from the porch. It gives me a home base to work out of. It makes me feel like I have a place to go. Lots of labeled containers for sorting, a shelf for your snow globes, a table and chair on the wall that you can take down and eat at if you're into that kind of role play. Crafting benches, really almost everything in there is interactive, high value for a small location. I recommend both of these. While I'm at it, let me recommend the mod Heather Caston companion mod for Fallout 4 by Llama RCA. She does really great work. I can't recommend them enough. Has anyone watched the Kevin Costner movie, The Postman, lately? Or read the book? Wow. Did the writers of New Vegas take some inspiration for Caesar from the General Bethlehem character? I think it's uncanny. Also, the postman and the main character start out as a courier. Other movies I would recommend for that was Fallout inspiration would be like Boy and His Dog. I'd say the inspiration for Rex or Dog Meat and all the other Fallout incarnations would be from this movie. Not to mention there's a vault filled with all sorts of weirdos. There's also raiders, and at one point possibly a glowing one. A Boy and His Dog stars Don Johnson as Vic, who's the protagonist. Not a very admirable protagonist, but he's the star nonetheless. I suppose there's a lot of pop culture inspiration in Fallout. A Canticle for Leibowitz was mentioned in an earlier podcast as a Brotherhood of Steel inspiration, a group of monks living in the apocalyptic desert preserving technology. What else is out there that I'm missing? There's Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet as the Protectrons. Beneath the Planet of the Apes has a bunch of people worshiping a divine nuclear bomb. Children of the Atom, anyone? I'd love to hear from any listeners, your recommendations on anything to watch or read. Send them into the falloutfeed at gmail.com. For instance, besides the ones I mentioned, I really enjoyed the Wool trilogy by Hugh Howey, which is about these communities of silos, like vaults that have existed for hundreds of years underground without going outside. Again, send them into the falloutfeed at gmail.com. Well, thanks everybody for your time, and I'll see you in the Mojave.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. For the Fallout Feed Random Stats Character Generator, Roundtable Schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrim Addict podcast, My Journey with CF, the Chatterbox, our YouTube channel, as well as other content. Your 5-star review on iTunes is greatly appreciated. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
Do we even need to do the show anymore, guys?
I tell you, I think you got your new co-host.
I don't think we need to do the show anymore. Steve's just gonna take it over.
Nicely done, Steve.
If I had my wife do that, she'd get about a halfway through and say, "This is just silly. I'm done."
Yeah.
Ray, no. You can tell after Tori can get I can get a take or two out of her, but she doesn't like it when I want her to do it over and over again. You know what I mean?
Tori's best one is the "Hey nerds."
Yeah, she threw that in there. I think she was getting impatient with me, but I kept it anyway.
It's a classic. I cherish it.
That's great. The Hidden Clothes quest with Rotface. Does that ring a bell for you guys?
Is that the guy that you can bully and take his clothes from him in New Vegas? Is that or in Freeside?
Yeah, it's that Freeside quest for the brother and sister.
The ones at casino. Fuck. What
I know. I hate that.
Those guys. They're just some guys, Yeah. No, but Rodface, they don't mind Rodface, right? I mean, you can just. I think you can just basically bully him for no reason.
He's he's one of the people that owe the money.
Yeah, the Garretts. Yeah, that's right. You can get their money back, and then you can keep bullying him just because it's mean to do. Yeah, that's right. That's it.
Yeah, and Marcus from the super mutant from Jacobstown was in Fallout 2.
Okay, he said. I thought he was saying something about strong, and I was like, I don't think there's a strong connection to Fallout 4. Is there?
No, it's Marcus. You meet him when you go to Jacobstown.
But he's in Fallout 2.
But yeah, he helps the Chosen One expose the anti-mutant conspiracy.
I thought that you had told, maybe I think it was you, Ray, who was telling us about how the super mutants in Fallout 4 and Fallout 3 are actually from different sources or something, right? They're not like related or something.
Yeah, that wasn't me, but yeah, they're all basically this from the same place, but I mean they're from the same virus, but yeah, they're created in different places.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the ones in the ones in New Vegas. I mean, they're more intelligent super mutants, and they're not necessarily automatically hostile. Yeah, like they are in.
Quite as angry.
Yeah. I think is Strong the only friendly super mutant in 4?
Well, there's Erickson in Far Harbor.
Right.
Oh, true. Right.
That's all I can think of.
But there's a bunch like there's Marcus who's like actively friendly. There's
Fallout 4, right?
Yeah, oh, that's right. Virgil, yeah, but Virgil's kind of a special case, right? Because he's but yeah. So there's a few, but then in New Vegas, there's the ones at the Repcon factory that are potentially non-hostile. There's Marcus. All the ones at Jacobstown, it's pretty easy to get out of Jacobstown without any fight. I mean, if you play it wrong or choose to play it, you can get into a fight with a Nightkin. But even Jacobstown with all those Nightkin is potentially non-fighty.
Speaking of Nightkin, I love Lily. I took her out for a little while. I'm glad he took Lily out for a little while too.
Now were you playing in survival mode, Andrew?
No.
Yeah, or it's hardcore in New Vegas. Yeah, Lily doesn't do well in hardcore mode because she just kind of runs right in and tends to die.
Grandma, it's a little too aggressive.
Yeah. I ran into this nest of cazadors because Lily was my assigned companion for the round table, and I took a long time to get her because I was kind of working my way west, so I didn't pick her up till fairly late game. So I was fighting some fairly nasty things like cazadors, and I not long after I picked her up, I was running around fighting, just going somewhere. I don't know where I was going. I couldn't fast travel because I hadn't been there yet, and I ran into this nest of cazadors. I must have reloaded like 5 times, and Lily kept dying. And I said, "Oh fuck it, she's just meant to die after this." So
really?
Yeah, I just let her die.
Sweet though. I liked her conversation wheel.
No, she's very funny. Yeah. All and her quest line is kind of grim. Her companion quest where you have to like basically decide whether she takes her medicine and sort of is calm, but has no person. It's kind of like, I don't know, her medicine's Thorazine or something. I don't know what it is, but she basically takes her medicine and has no personality, or she doesn't take her medicine and she goes into these crazy fugue states. So.
Yeah. Speaking of followers, Willow sounds interesting. I endorse that. Everyone check that out. And the player home. That sounds cool too. I wish I could do mods on New Vegas.
So I shared this on the Facebook page. I haven't talked about it because I actually have not executed this yet, but I bought the Good Old Games non-DRM version, which somebody, and I apologize, I forget who it is, somebody on the Facebook group I was going back and forth with, who had tried that as well and was having, because I think I've shared here that I have very bad luck with mods in my New Vegas installation. I'll go a few levels, and then by the time I get to level 10 or something, my mods are just crashing. So I just stopped trying to play with mods on the Steam version anyway on my installation. But I've heard some people have better luck with the Good Old Games version that doesn't have DRM. So I bought that in expectation, perhaps wrong, that we were going to go New Vegas for our next roundtable. So anyway, so that's I will try to load some mods in the Good Old Games version and give a report back on a future episode about whether I'm having any better luck with that.
Sweet. All right, Steve, your efforts are incredible, and thank you so much for your feedback all season long. And I look forward to the conclusion of your character next time. We've got Leon to get to, and Leon sent us a nice, lengthy, beefy, huge, big feedback. So we'll probably take that one in a few different chunks. But speaking of the next season of the roundtable, like you were discussing, Pat, did we want to maybe discuss some ideas that we were tossing around?
Yeah, I think we posted a poll on the Facebook group, got some good responses. Well, we've got about 30 or 40 people jumping in on the poll for the next roundtable. So appreciate everybody jumping in with lively responses and suggestions and everything else. Some yahoo even said we should do Fallout 1, but I don't know who would have said that.
I would love to try it, but
There's always one in a group,
Yeah, but I think Fallout New Vegas DLC jumped out to an early lead, but then at the very end, Fallout 4 made a big strong comeback. So I think while we disclaim any responsibility, the poll results are binding on the roundtable decision. We did come up with something that we think maybe pretty interesting. So I don't know, Ray. I think it was Andrew's idea, Ray. You want to sort of lay out what we're thinking about for the listeners?
So what we came up with is we are going to do a bobblehead playthrough. So we'll go ahead and roll random characters like we typically do. But each week we'll be assigning 3 bobbleheads to go get out in the wasteland. So there's 3 groups of bobbleheads. There's the special bobbleheads, which are all the special attributes. There's the utility bobbleheads, like Barter and Lockpick. And then there's the weapons bobbleheads. And so we'll figure out how to weave these together. And each week we'll all go out and dig these up and see what everybody comes up with.
Yeah, we're going to match up one of each category, and I think it'll be. We'll still definitely ask everybody to do their randomly rolled character, but we'll let you kind of pick the way you go about it. Some of the bobbleheads are in fairly tough locations. You might need to do a little bit of leveling up before you get there, and we'll take that into account. We haven't mapped this out because we actually just came out with it earlier. Andrew, good call on the one bobblehead per. I think that should be a lot of fun.
You're the one that came up with the bobblehead idea.
Yeah, no, it's a good group effort, but I like the idea of, because I think just getting the special bobbleheads might have been fun, but I like your idea of kind of combining, because that way we can. I think it'll be interesting to see how people's paths diverge as we go through the season. Because I think maybe some of the earlier ones are like, spoiler alert, Perception sitting in Preston's office in the museum. So, but then some of the other ones are in much more obscure and harder to get to locations. So,
don't forget, I nodded in approval.
So we will. Well, no, see, Ray, you're going to do all. See, Andrew and I, we're the big picture guys. So somebody's got to do a spreadsheet, and somebody's got to map out the bobbleheads that we're going to order. So Ray, who actually is organized and can think about this stuff, will. We know who's going to do the heavy lifting on this, Ray. Don't you worry about that. No, but anyway, so warm up those Fallout 4 installations, download that 2.4 gigabyte mystery update that dropped last night. And
was that?
Consensus seems to be Creation Club, but there's no release notes that anybody has found that I can tell.
Yeah, there is some new stuff in Creation Club, so it would make sense.
So how much actual cash money, Ray, is this? I have literally not looked at Creation Club at all. That tells you how much time I've been spending playing New Vegas and Skyrim. But if you wanted to buy an item in the Creation Club, how much real human dollars is that going to cost you?
I think most of the stuff in there is $1 to $5.
It'll cost you 100 lightning bolts, Pat. I think a lightning bolt is a penny, so $1. I think
one bar of gold pressed latinum or whatever currency they're using these days.
Yeah, I mean, if you buy them in big enough chunks, it's a little bit less, but it's essentially 100 credits is a buck.
So I guess if you like it well enough and you want the stuff and you want to get your achievements, that's okay. But I don't know. I have mixed feelings. It feels like. I don't know. It doesn't feel special enough to be worth paying actual cash dollar money for some of these little things. And look, if I mean, if they were if they were to post like a version of Tales of the Commonwealth, which adds characters and quests and all this other stuff, or the Beantown Interiors or some of those things where they're actually adding like major new content. I would pay $5, $10 for, but $5 for a Pip-Boy or a piece of power armor, I don't know. That just doesn't float my boat.
Now,
Yeah.
Pat, you don't want to download the super cool new donut shop pack?
No.
That's evidently the big new, the next big thing I saw the announcement for was like it's skins for your workshop. It adds donut shop accessories.
Time to make the donuts.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's Lee's got the right idea. He's farming in all the free stuff that they promote. So he's grabbing stuff that way.
I'm doing that too.
Yeah.
I hadn't been playing Fallout 4 at all recently, but 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago I put it back in, and the last week or two I've actually popped open the Creation Club, and I've only found I think 2 free items now. It was some Brotherhood of Steel skins for your weapons, and I just today I got some, let's see, a Pip-Boy and power armor, some sort of aqua camouflage thing or something. So I don't know.
I gotta say though, the flames for the weapons looked pretty cool.
On the Brotherhood of Steel?
I think it was a standalone.
Oh, okay.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's still they've got good quality modders doing these things, so it's not.
And I have yet to see how it's actually incorporated. I need to actually go in and see if I can put that Brotherhood of Steel skin on a weapon and see how it looks in game. You know what I mean? Like I haven't actually tried to employ any of the Creation Club mods yet that I have downloaded. So
I do have a correction for something that so Rotface is not the guy that you get the Garrett's money back from. That's Grex. He's the ghoul that you shake down to get the money back from.
Rotface is the guy that gives you New Vegas rumors.
Yeah, he's hanging out by Mick and Ralph's.
Yeah, you give him a cap and he gives you like a rumor about New Vegas, or Freeside or whatever. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Sweet. So everybody get excited. Roundtable next season's coming up. I don't even know when.
So this is what we got. One more week. One more. I'm so behind on our schedule.
We have 2 more episodes.
Two more regular episodes.
2 more regular episodes, then a listener feedback episode, then the wrap-up episode, and then we are free to do whatever after that.
We're looking like late February, early March kind of time frame, right?
We can head right into it, or we can do a few things and we'll see what the schedule holds.
Nice.
Yeah. Those roundtables are good at helping us, provide some content, right, on this game that's 3 or 4 years old now already.
2.5.
Is that it? I guess 2015, right? Great. And again, we couldn't do this stuff without you guys who are giving us all the awesome feedback. Leon sent us in some really nice feedback. Why don't we go ahead and take a trip?
G'day, this is Leon from Texas for the Fallout Feed New Vegas Roundtable. I am playing Jinxie. She's a former NCR soldier that got drummed out of the service because her luck was kind of one of those Murphy's Law kind of lucks where the good stuff would always happen to her and the bad stuff would happen to everybody around her. So NCR was our factions, and I've been going through and doing the quests. So we're up to the Omertas and the Khans, because I just got through doing the King's Gambit. And King's Gambit, I did in the last one. So I go to the dam and talk to Colonel Moore, and she tells me that I need to go to talk to the Great Khans. Now, I'd already met the Great Khans because there's several quests that if you don't do them in the right order, you can kind of mess up some of them or fail some of them. A good example of that is Abba Dabba Honeymoon. That's the one that you do Jack and Diane, the drug dealer ones, and excuse me. They want you to do several quests for them. So, you go rescue one of their couriers who got caught by the Legion and he's being crucified. And then once you do that, they give you some more quests. Like you got to go eventually you wind up taking some drugs to Motorhead and the Fiends, like Chieftain. And I think it's Vault 3. Anyways, one of the NCR quests is to kill Motorhead. Well, as I said earlier, and I think at the beginning of the roundtable or real early on, if you kill Motorhead before you've done Abba Dabba Honeymoon, then you can't complete Abba Dabba Honeymoon. So the really cool trick is to get Abba Dabba Honeymoon and get the NCR quest to kill Motorhead. Then when you walk into the vault, instead of being attacked or anything, you can tell them, hey, I'm here for, I'm a Khan, or you got to wear. I think you got to wear the Great Khan's outfit. But you're like, okay, I'm a Khan, and they're like, oh, okay, there's a Khan here. Where he's a drug dealer here, and so you get to go walk all the way past all the Fiends down to where Motorhead's at, and you got a zone doorway where you go into like another zone. So you give the drugs to Motorhead. Motorhead's like, okay, blah blah blah, yeah, good. And then you can just blast them away, which is what I did. And it turns all the Fiends in that particular zone aggro. So you got to kill all them. But as soon as you zone back out to the main part of Vault 3, you're not aggro anymore. So you can just keep walking around and steal all the rest of the drugs without worrying about it. So it kind of cuts down a little bit of the combat there. So I had already done the Khans. I'd already met the Khans. I did Abba Dabba Honeymoon. I did the poet kid who wanted to become a follower of the apocalypse, and so also had enough survival and medicine. And I think it's either survival and science or survival and medicine. I don't remember what skills, but I had given all the recipes to Jack so that he could make all the really good drugs, and I'd also convinced him to also make stim packs and stuff. So I had done that quest. So the Khans I already knew about. So I travel over to the Khans, and I talked to, I can't remember his name now. He's the lieutenant that is also not quite happy with Papa Khan. I think it's Regis. Yeah, I think that's his name.
Papa Khan?
I talked to him, and he said that he would be, he wouldn't be against the NCR, but there's no way that Papa Khan would ever help the NCR. And so I went back and talked to the colonel, and she was like, okay, well, you need to take out Papa Khan. And so I went in and I snuck and waited behind this house until I got close to midnight, snuck in, and then just popped him, just killed him real quick. It was easier that way. So, excuse me. So then I went back out, hid, waited, and then kind of walked in like, oh, hey, everybody, what happened? What's been going on? And I talked to Regis and convinced Regis that the Khans are going to help the NCR at the Battle of Hoover Dam. So I convinced the Boomers to help me. I've convinced the Khans to help me. And then we'll continue on. So then you have to go talk to you have to go deal with the Omertas, because the NCR has been getting some weird stuff from one of the families on the strip, the Omertas. And so you got to go talk to the receptionist, and then she tells you about, I think it's Cachino. Now, there is a quest. Oh, what's the name of it off the top of my head? I don't remember. It starts in the Vault 21 Hotel. And it involves the Omertas and the Gomorrah Club. And I'll tend to do most of the side quests before I do the main quest as much as possible, so it doesn't mess with anything. And I can't remember the name of this quest off the top of my head. But anyways, you go down in the Vault 21 Hotel, and there's a guy down there, I think his name's Juan, but I might have the name wrong. But he is an ex-Omerta, like gun. And he fell in love with one of the hookers there. Actually, what happened was he had met this girl at another casino or bar or something like that, and convinced her to come work at Gomorrah. Well, once she got there, Cachino fell for her, and so he took her from him, and then he convinced the Omertas. He kind of not blackmailed. He faked some evidence that this guy was stealing, and so the Omertas kicked him out, and he's not welcome back in the club. Meanwhile, Cachino still got his ex-girlfriend stuck in the club, so he wants you to like kind of find out what's going on with her, and maybe try to get her out of there. So you go talk to her, and one thing I note about her, I wish I could remember her name off the top of my head. She's actually got one of the decent character models. If you look at most of the people in the Gomorrah, even just most of the game, most of them are just, their faces are a little off, or they're just bad built. I mean, you just tend to ignore it. But she actually has got an okay character model. Anyways, so just as an aside there. So you talk to her, and you actually, funnily enough, you can actually sleep with her before you talk to her. And you can even do it for free. You can convince her to do it for free. Especially if you got medicine, you tell her like, oh, I can tell you got these signs of addiction. But anyways, so you talk to her and you tell her that her ex-boyfriend wants her back, wants to get her, and she's willing to leave. She wants to get out of Gomorrah because she knows that they're addicting all their girls to drugs and stuff, and then they eventually get rid of them or sell them or whatever. But the problem is she's got 2 friends that she wants to bring with you. So you eventually work up a scheme where you're going to wait until the club kind of quiets down, and her and her 2 friends are going to meet you about midnight in the middle of the casino, and sorry, and you're going to escort them out. So I think you have to talk to her, and then they come out with you, or she meets you in the casino, one or the other. And it's been a while since that was a quest I did a while back, so I don't remember the all exact parts of it. But you eventually get out of the Omerta's Club, the Gomorrah, and then you go down the strip and you go to Freeside. And when you get there, oh, I missed a step. I apologize. After you talk to her the first time, she says she's willing to go, but she needs, she doesn't want to leave without the 2 girls. You go back and talk to her boyfriend at Vault 21, and he tells you that he has a marker that 2 guys at the Atomic Wrangler owe him a favor. And what's really funny is their names. It's Big Beard and Little Beard. And so you go and you call in this favor. You don't have to, but you can. And they'll show up to help you and the ex-boyfriend. I can't remember his name. So anyways, when you get to Freeside, they show up, and the ex-boyfriend shows up, and everybody's all happy until right when a bunch of Omertas show up. And they're like, we knew that you were talking to her, and that the ex-boyfriend's blah 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 name, that y'all were trying to escape, blah blah blah. And so there's a couple of different options you can do. This time we just started fighting, and you have to be careful. Big Beard and Little Beard, either of them can die. It's not a big deal. But if the ex-boyfriend dies, you fail the quest. So you got to be real careful there. But there's another cool option that I've done before. It's one of those perks that give you a dialogue kind of thing. If you have the perk Terrifying Presence, which you got to have the high strength for, you can intimidate them by I will break you. And it's a pretty funny little one. Anyways. But this time I just started fighting. I was like, yeah, whatever, y'all. I'm not afraid of y'all. Pop, 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 pop. And so you just have to make sure that the 3 girls survive. Well, at least the girlfriend and the boyfriend, that those 2 survive. As long as they survive, the quest should be fine. So I did that way back in the past. But it's a neat little quest you do for the Omerta. So you go into the Omertas and you talk to Cachino, and then you can get his journal, and you convince him, hey, I'm going to turn you in. And then he's like, well, I'll buy the journal back from you, and then you can, the boss has got a plan. And so you go investigate the plan. Now, I'm going to come back to that and there's a spoiler there. On the previous episode, y'all mentioned that one of the guys for the Omertas I think it's Clandon is his name. Yeah, Clandon. That y'all couldn't get any kind of action, and there actually is a part of the quest involving him, but it's not something that a lot of people do very often. To be honest, I probably never would have known it, except I actually have the strategy guide, and so a lot of times it's great reading, and I'll just go back and kind of browse and look through things, and I came across it once, and but I'll get back to that in a second. It's at this point though that it kind of you can take that path. So I sold the journal back to Kachino, and he told me that there's something going on. So you need to talk to Troik and find out what's going on. So I talked to Troik, and I convinced Troik. I got a high enough speech. I convinced him to tell me what was going on, and he told me about that. He was shipping weapon shipments in for the Omertas, and sorry. And so I convinced him he'd been making some thermite on the side just in case the plan went wrong. So I convinced him to plant the thermite and set it off. So I did that. Left the casino, come back in, and Kachino's like, the bosses want to talk to you. And you're like, Troik got caught. He destroyed the weapons, but he got caught, and he named you. So you can, go up with Kachino. And what I did is I convinced Kachino that the bosses would never expect a double cross from him. So he needs to fire first. And so I went and talked to the bosses, and of course I did the speech check where you tell I think it's you tell Big Nero that Big Sal that Nero was doing so to let you in on the plan, or it might be that you tell Nero that Big Sal let you in. But anyways, you get those two to fighting, and so I had Big Sal and Nero fighting, and Kachino was starting to fight them, and so we kill Big Sal and Nero, and Kachino becomes the new Omerta boss. So they're taken care of. Now, back to that spoiler thing. So, if you choose to not sell the journal to Kachino, you can go take that journal to Big Sal and Nero and turn Kachino into them. And when you do that, it opens up a path where you eventually work with Clandon. And he's wanting to set off some sort of when the NCR gets attacked at Hoover Dam, he's wanting to make a disruption on the strip that'll like kill a lot of people and stuff. But he doesn't have enough supplies. He can't build a big enough bomb. Well, anyways, then this is why I remember this quest is because you eventually are like, well, what about a chlorine bomb? So a poison gas bomb. And so there's a couple of different options of how you get the chlorine and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, you can actually help him build a poison gas bomb. So, but you have to not sell the journal to Kachino, and it's a kind of convoluted. I think I've only ever done it once just to see it happen. It's been a long time since I did. I just always remember that's like one of the only references that I know of where they reference, at least in New Vegas, a poison gas bomb. There's radiation and sickness and all kinds of stuff like that. And even in Fallout 4, there's some like, there's some of the gas stuff, but nothing quite like that. So anyways, I had to go back home after I heard the last episode, and I was like, I think that's the right character, right? Let me look this up real quick in my strategy guide. Oh yeah, I was right. That is right. And I think you can also look it up on the wiki too. So anyways, I finished with the cons. I finished with the Omertas. So then I had already done Mr. House, where I took the Spies golf club and killed Mr. House with a golf club. So I got the 4 achievement. So Mr. House is taken care of. And then they send you to the Brotherhood of Steel. Okay, so Brotherhood of Steel. Jinxie's companion is Veronica. I've also got Eddie, but Veronica was her drawn companion. So I had already met the Brotherhood of Steel by getting Veronica to work with me. So, and it's a lot easier to get the Brotherhood of Steel to because if you go in and talk to them without Veronica, then they okay, we need to, strip you and put you in chains or Chuck, I can't remember which it is. And you got to do this quest for us to prove that you're loyal, blah, blah. Whereas if you got Veronica with you, they just kind of oh, hey, Veronica, okay, fine, you can come in. So I'd done Veronica. I'd gotten talking to the Brotherhood, and I became a member. I convinced them that I was on their side. I went and picked up the 3 I forget what they're called, logbooks, I guess, holotapes, from the 3 different missing units. I talked to the 3 scouts, and I talked to the elder. I had sided with the original elder because I didn't want to. Didn't want the paladin guy. What's his name? Oh man, I forget names like crazy tonight. Sorry, but anyways, there's the elder of the Brotherhood, and then there's the guy who's thinking about overthrowing the elder, but he can't find a good reason to. He doesn't like what the elder is doing, but he doesn't also want to lead a rebellion or anything. So he's trying to get you to find some sort of rule that he can use. And there is a rule. You actually can do that. But I didn't do that. I sided with the elder, and so eventually Veronica tries to convince the elder that he's wrong. And the elder's like, no, we're not doing this. So Veronica leaves the Brotherhood. And you got a couple options. You can have her stay. I told her that she should leave because I wanted to keep her as a companion, and also that she should join the Followers of the Apocalypse and spread her knowledge. And then if you continue her quest, you take her to Followers of the Apocalypse location, and like a safe house. And she's like, tells them, okay, hey, I want to join. And the receptionist lady there is like, well, the doctor will be back tomorrow, so give us 24 hours. So you go out, you wait 24 hours, you come right back in, and you find them all dead. And so some Brotherhood of Steel people had actually came out and killed the followers, and they try to kill you and Veronica because they don't want her giving the Brotherhood secrets to the Followers of the Apocalypse. And then after all that, she decides not to join the followers because she's going to endanger them because the Brotherhood will want to kill her if she gives them secrets. So it's like, whatever, well, just stick with me. So that's fine. And which is funny because she won't ever go back to the Brotherhood, but I can. And it's like, well, I'm working with you, so you would think they'd be kind of pissed off. I killed some Brotherhood people because they were trying to kill you, but the game doesn't take that into account for whatever reason. But as it is, Veronica can use power armor, so my power armor suit is on her, so she's like a walking tank right now. And she's also got a Legion headdress. I can't remember which one, but she's actually wearing the headdress, which is odd, but it looks fun. So anyways, it's a pretty good one. So I'd already got the Brotherhood to be my friends. So when the NCR sends me to the Brotherhood, well, I'm a member of the Brotherhood. I'm not going to destroy the Brotherhood like the Colonel wants me to. So I go and I talk to the Elder, and you can convince him to work with the NCR, which is what I did. So now I've got the Boomers, I've got the Cons, and I've got the Brotherhood that are willing to work on the NCRs. So I decided to ditch Veronica for a short period of time and went and picked up Arcade Gannon and took him around the Mojave and got him to trigger on his loyalty quest, whatever it's called, the Remnants quest. So I re-get all the remnants of the Enclave back together. Go to their bunker and tell them that I want them to help the NCR. And then my speech is high enough so I can convince the one guy, the heavy in the unit, to go ahead and do it because he's going to show the NCR how it's really done. Because he's not a NCR fan. He hates the NCR. But he's willing to, when you put it that way to him, he's actually willing to do it. So I get the remnants to agree to come help the NCR. So poor Caesar, who, by the way, is already dead in my game. I killed him pretty early on. The Legion are going to be hitting NCR troops, are going to be bombed by the Boomers, are going to be hit by the Cons, are going to be attacked by the Brotherhood of Steel, and are going to have the Vertibird with the Remnants show up with their power armor, which I have a suit of now. So, and got training in. So now I'm wearing the Enclave power armor. Actually, I'm not wearing that armor though because the Arcade gave me, because I told him he should go help the wounded and not try to fight. So he actually gave me his dad's Tesla armor. So that's actually what I'm wearing. That and the First Recon headband and the water breathing mask. As soon as I get the water breathing mask from the Boomers, I always wear it just because I like the way it looks, and the ability to breathe underwater comes in handy in a couple of the flooded vaults. So the poor Legion ain't gonna know what's gonna hit them. Not only that, but also if I really needed to, I could actually switch to Yes Man, because one of the tricks I like to do to leave my options open is I go ahead and let Mr. House upgrade his Securitrons in Vegas, and I also upgrade them at the Legion Fort. So if I later decide to maybe change from the NCR, the Securitrons are actually already upgraded. So I could always break that army out if I really had to. So even at this point in time, I'm at the Battle of Hoover Dam with Jinxie, and I've maxed out my NCR faction. But even at this point in time, I could actually go pick up Yes Man and do that whole save. And then, of course, yeah, I got my NCR save. So, I could actually do either of those two things. And I actually also have a save right before Mr. House where I killed him, so I could do that too. So at this point in time, I'm pretty much done with everything in the main quest, except for when it happens, which is the battle of starting the Battle of Hoover Dam. Now, a couple of side quests that I really like. Just wanted to mention them. I like the one where you go to.
Hey, did you guys want to mention anything before he gets into his side quests?
I'm very impressed that he got anything out of Clandon.
Yeah.
That Kachino Clandon poison gas bomb thing was remarkable.
Yeah.
Also, the followers thing. What was going on with the followers there? He has overthrew the elders and that was all crazy. I googled image to the rebreather thing just to see what it looked like. It does look pretty awesome. I didn't bother doing all that. I just did all the diving, but the rebreather does look cool.
The rebreather's totally that's worth going through the Brotherhood stuff. Not Brotherhood, the Boomer stuff, just for that rebreather.
Yeah, I didn't have any problem doing the actual quest there, just going up and down, getting some breath and going back down again. But it does look really cool. And some flooded vaults, that sounds like it's totally useful. I was wondering if that'd be useful in other places in the game. Of course, they put other uses to it. Good for them. See, all that Veronica stuff too. Yeah, with the Brotherhood, that was. I ruined my chances. Again, I mentioned earlier that I don't know what I did, but for some reason she got all offended by something I did, and I couldn't use her. So it's interesting to hear all the stuff with Veronica too. Leon, you're doing a great job. I love hearing all your adventures. So let's continue on into your side quests here.
Helios, and you do that one, and Mr. Fantastic's pretty funny, and y'all talked about it on the podcast before, but Jinxie was not she wasn't quite willing to go with Mr. Fantastic, and she was really interesting with that targeting system that you I think it's Achilles, I can't remember. Anyways, can't remember the name of the actual targeting system, but you can set the power to where it sets up on this old world some sort of electronic device that uses the sun energy. Well, if you find the targeting device for it, which you can find, and what it is it's like once a day, although it actually does recharge quicker than that, but it allows you to target something on your, like a gun, and you effectively bring down this super laser beam from the sky and just obliterate stuff. So Jinxie has that, which so I'll be able to use that during the Battle of Hoover Dam. That's one of my side quests that I did that I like using that every once in a while you can get a good target and get a good Legion camp and zap them or something like that, and then it's awesome. It's like the a laser satellite just focusing the sun's energies down on a point in space, a point in the Mojave. And then the other one I did that I really like, as an aside, is Bleed Me Dry. It's a long, convoluted quest for the Thorn, which is the arena in West Side, I think it is. Yeah, West Side of New Vegas. For what is her name? Red Lucy. And she sends you to pick up eggs. First, you start with mantis eggs, then you get red scorpion eggs, then fire gecko eggs, then night stalker eggs, then cazador eggs. And I think the last one is deathclaw eggs. And that's a really cool quest. I like it because it sends you a lot of different places. You're doing a lot of different things. Kind of like a fetch quest. You go, you get something, bring it back. But it's also kind of a hunter skill quest. So I really like that one. That's one of those quests that it's not really involved with any kind of main quest or any faction stuff, but it's a really cool quest to just do kind of as you're going through. Like you can start real easy with, the mantis eggs. You got to do that. Get those at one of the vaults. The red scorpion eggs, it's not too hard. You kind of go north of Good Springs. Fire gecko's a little bit more complicated, night stalker, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just a good long quest that it makes sense when you go into the Thorn and you see the arena and how it's set up. That that they got to have some way of getting the animals back into the system, because you can set up the arena where you can find stuff. So that's one of those quests that I really like to do when I'm doing side quests. So that catches me up to, like I said, everything up until you'll know it when you see it for the Battle of Hoover Dam. So there's a couple of side quests that I really like. At this point, let's see, Jinxie has got her energy weapons up to 100. Her guns up to 60, her explosives up to 40, survival of 100, lockpick of 100, medicine of 100, science of 100. There was another one, speech of 100. And for her perks, she took level 2, she took intense training plus 1 intellect, so that made her intellect 10. Level 4, educated. Level 6, Black Widow. Level 8, Scrounger. Level 10, finesse. Level 12, bloody mess. Level 14, jury rigging. Level 16, tag. I tag speech at plus 15. Can you read my own handwriting? Right now, well, I can't check. I can't remember what I took at 18. Sorry. Then level 20, Explorer. Level 22, Misfortune. Level 24, Mysterious Stranger. Level 26, Spray and Pray. Level 28, Living Anatomy. Level 30, Math Wrath. Level 32, Sneering Imperialist. And level 34, Laser Commander. So I'm mainly focusing on energy weapons, obviously. I'm playing a little bit with guns and a little bit with explosives, but it's not that much. I put a little bit, like my sneak is at 30. It's not nowhere near great. But my high intellect has made it real easy to max a lot of my skills. Just, like I said, I got several hundreds, a lot of hundreds and stuff. So having the 10 luck, and now with the intense training at level 2, the 10 intelligence has really helped punch up my skills pretty good. So I'm level 34, and I'm at the Battle of Hoover Dam. All right, that's it, and I'll see y'all in the Mojave.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Leon. What is this arena he was talking about?
The Thorn. It's an underground. It's in the sewers in West Side, which is on the north side of New Vegas, sort of, kind of the other side of New Vegas from Freeside. And it's in the sewers. You go down there. You depending on how you get there, you kind of there's a no, that's right. No, it's there's a sort of a network of sewers, and there's also a place above ground that says The Thorn, and you go down in there. It's like a manhole that's got a sign that says The Thorn. You go down there, and there's that Red Lucy character, and you talk to her, and I think you can bet on some fights, like, Deathclaw versus Rad Scorpions or whatever. And then you talk to Red Lucy, and she eventually if you talk to her, she'll give you that 100 quest. And I think it's like half a dozen different things that you have to do, like stepping all the way up from ants or mantises or whatever the lowest thing is, all the way up to Deathclaws, I think is the ultimate one.
The Thorn.
Yeah.
I didn't stumble upon that.
It's very kind of off the beaten track. It's not something, and it's not in any way tied to any other main quest line. So you really just kind of have to stumble on it. And if you do all the things, then you get to shtup Red Lucy as a reward, because she gets all hot and bothered if you bring her all the animal eggs.
Red Lucy.
Yeah.
He also mentioned earlier, Ray, do you know anything about, did he say Big Beard, Little Beard?
Oh yeah, that was what is that? Bye Bye Love. It's just a little quest that you pick up from a guy at Vault 21 that is in love with one of the hookers at the Gomorrah.
Nice. Okay, so he was talking about getting her out. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that Bleed Me Dry quest, that's 1,600 XP and like 5,000 caps.
That's not insignificant. Wow. That's a lot. Oh, and the one thing that I thought that I am super interested in, caught my ear, was this thing that to me sounds like sort of a version of in Fallout 4, the smoke artillery bombs, or the smoke grenades there where the artillery launches. The super laser thing. What the hell is this thing? I want that.
No, that's the Archimedes laser that you get at what's the laser?
Helios.
Helios 1, yeah.
Helios.
When you go to Helios 1, you have the option of sending the power to a few different places, or you can enable the Archimedes laser. And if you do that, it basically calls down a holy hell down on one spot, and you target it with. There's a kid running around Freeside who randomly just has this targeting. I forget what it's called, but it looks like a ray gun, and you buy it off him for a cap or something, or 10 caps or something, and you get that from the kid, and you enable the Archimedes device at Helios 1, and then you can rain down sunfire on your enemies once a day, or maybe apparently more than once a day based on Leon's feedback. I have not used Archimedes, so I usually like to do the nice thing and distribute the power evenly to the strip and Freeside. So that's usually what I do.
That sounds like a fantastic weapon, though. Doesn't that sound kind of like that artillery stuff?
Kind of.
Sort of, kind of. It's more like
you target it with a gun instead of a grenade.
Well, the artillery smoke doesn't really do anything by itself. The artillery smoke sends up the grenade, sends up the column of smoke, and then the Minutemen shoot the artillery at it. This is actually, you point the gun, and a giant solar beam of energy comes down and obliterates your foes.
Okay, you guys are being way too literal. In the theoretical sense, I am summoning from above an attack that will obliterate my enemies in a specific spot.
Yeah. All right,
no?
But
okay.
Yeah, the Minutemen are just the Minutemen are such nerds. I don't know.
How dare you? How dare you?
Stupid Minutemen.
All right, so I've got all the bobbleheads written out. So I'm already excited to write down all the stuff for the next season. This is gonna be awesome. Oh, geez, this is really great. Ray, I want
super good stuff from Leon. That he's got all his bases covered.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that he's left himself options on everything.
He's done absolutely everything inside and out, it looks like. So yeah, thank you, Leon. Ray, did you have anything else you wanted to mention?
No.
Cool. Pat, do you have anything else you want to get into?
I am all good.
Sweet. Ray, I just wanted to check in to see if your flag mod is still up and flying somewhere.
Yeah, it's still on Bethesda.
Great. Available to be downloaded. Ray has a Fallout feed flag mod, so everyone go decorate your settlements with the Fallout feed flag. Any special instructions or anything, Ray, or can they just search the Fallout feed in the search bar or something?
Yeah, I think I just called it the Fallout feed flag.
Great.
And
Check it out.
It's a craftable flag, so it doesn't replace any of the regular flags in the game. It's a separate standalone flag.
Is it 2 cloth, 4 cloth? Do you have any idea?
No.
All right. Well, we want to see your screenshots. So decorate your settlement with some Fallout feed flags and send us your screenshots to thefalloutfeed@gmail.com. And, well, I don't know. Maybe Steve has taken over our email address by that point, I think. So I don't know if we'll get those emails anymore. So we'll have to check with Steve, see if he'll allow us to use our email address anymore. So, again, thanks to Leon and Craig and Steve for your wonderful feedback all season. Pat, thank you, sir, for hopping on this evening.
Thank you, Andrew. Good to join as always.
Yes. Ray, excited for next season. Gosh, does that mean you have to do some sort of new generator or something, Ray?
Who knows? We'll see. Might be able to blow the dust off the old one.
Yeah, we'll have to. Let's see. No, I don't think. What are we gonna? I don't even know. No, we don't have to generate anything new, right? If we're just doing bobbleheads, all we're doing is changing the assignment. We're not changing the build. As far as I can tell.
Yeah, I think that's right. We'd still want to specify special and tag the seven skills.
Yeah.
What else did we? Oh, we specified a companion
and
settlement. I think that's all good. Yeah, maybe we don't need to change it. All we got to do is everybody roll up a character, and then we line up the bobbleheads, and everybody presses go.
Yeah,
you can ignore the faction that you get assigned.
Yeah, right. Or use it as inspiration, whatever. Yeah. I think we definitely don't want to do faction for this. We want to let people kind of run, follow their heart and follow their favorite faction.
You know what? Sherry brings up occasionally this everybody get along ending. That sounds like a fun thing to try to attempt as well.
It's pretty finicky. Yeah, it's quite finicky.
And I'm impatient, so who knows about that?
Yeah, it's definitely doable. It's something that's been kicking around. It's you basically nuke the institute, and everybody else loves each other.
Well,
I'll do the nobody gets along ending.
Kill everybody. That sounds good.
Kill them all. Let God sort them out.
And on that note, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into this edition of the Fallout Feed.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
We'll see you in the wasteland.
Good night,
y'all.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Fallout Feed Roundtable. If you are interested in doing a play-along character with us, the show can be contacted by emailing falloutroundtable@gmail.com. For the roundtable schedule, our Amazon link, and all other show information, please head on over to asapodcasting.com, where you will find the Fallout Feed, a Skyrimatic podcast, our YouTube channel, the Chatterbox, as well as other content. Once again, thank you for downloading, and we'll see you in the wasteland.
ASA Podcasting breaking news. The Let's Play Skyrim feed is now the ASA Podcasting Let's Play feed, and Arthur has now started over there. We aired the same episode last week on the Fallout feed, but I'm going to quickly, soon in the next couple of days, upload another episode of Arthur. So check out Arthur on the Let's Play feed for ASA Podcasting, everyone. Thanks.
Daily Dank.